The Propcast on the Sports Game Podcast Network is brought to you by Automatic Fantasy. Their coming customers play just $5, get $75 in bonus funds. Use promo code SGPN. And welcome everyone to the Propcast here on the Sports Game Podcast Network. Currently Monday morning, December 22nd, around 10 a.m. Eastern. I'm Reichel. Once again, joined by Adam Rosenberg together. We're going to break down our favorite props for the Monday night game, which, to be honest, does not look that great on paper, but it's fine. We Phillip Rivers back, so we're going to see how he does. But either way, you have the Niners taking on the Colts, and we're going to give out 3 plays each for the actual game. Adam, how's it going with you? What's up? How's your smoothie?
It's good. Do we want to address the elephant in the room?
I don't see an elephant. Do you see an elephant?
I don't know. I mean, well, look, we have I think we should just do an Epstein file style redacted on the last episode. So if you go to look for the last episode of our Propcast, you will notice just black bars everywhere.
We'll put it this way. We did an episode, but you can't find it. No,
you can't find it.
It's still there. It's fine. It was not a very good Sunday for us. It is what it is.
Well, it wasn't a good show Sunday.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah.
Whatever. The baby's account did well, so I know that
other
it's
things
going to be
fine,
okay.
yeah.
But
yes.
Yeah, I mean, it was unfortunate. I lost the Nico Collins play by like 3 yards, and that line went up. I had the Zane Gonzalez extra points. He got one blocked. The Falcons did actually attempt 3 extra points. He just bricked one of them because it was blocked. So that didn't work out either. So yeah, not a great overall, once again, episode for me, but it is what it is. It happens. You give out a couple props, you lose barely.
We lost Swift. So. If you took the regular number on Swift, it hit. But if you took like the alt, we lost it by half a yard. We lost Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts won a game by margin and had over 28 and had over 29 pass attempts. We had 30, by the way, for the third time in 4 years.
Yeah.
So anyway, but is what it is. Also, like, generally speaking, a good way to do things is that if everybody really likes your play, it probably is not going to hit. So fade your friends.
Yeah, either way. Point is, once again, it's okay to have a bad picks episode when we've had very good overall episodes for the entire
season.
Up
for the year.
So it's fine. It is what it is.
Not worried about it.
Anyway, before we get into any of the actual plays that we have for the game on Monday night, a reminder that you can also find all of our free picks and podcasts in one convenient location, SGPN app. Download it for free in the App Store. Type in SGPN. Once again, all the access to the free picks and podcasts from the network in one location, absolutely free. So there we go. Before we get into the actual game, though, for Week 16, I know that there was a lot of chaos that ensued either in the Sunday night game or in the late window of the actual Sunday afternoon game. So just for the updates in the conferences, we don't have to really deep dive it. I'm just going to read it off right now. The AFC has only two teams that officially clinched a playoff spot. The Broncos and the Patriots. They're both 12-3. Broncos are technically the 1 seed at the moment. New England's 2. Jacksonville's 3. Steelers are 4. Chargers are 5. Bills are 6. Texans are 7. And right now they're about a game and a half ahead of the Colts. Colts will lose their 2 games back, and we basically know who's going to be the 7 playoff teams in the AFC. And for the NFC, a bunch of teams clinched in the late window. Seattle clinched. Chicago clinched. The Eagles clinched after winning the game on Saturday. Carolina is not clinched, but they're currently 1 game clear of Tampa. The Rams clinched and the Niners clinched. And Green Bay right now is the 7. So once again, only 2 teams have clinched a playoff spot in the AFC. And right now we have 5 teams that have clinched a playoff spot in the NFC. That's the update. If you want to go for the order in the NFC right now, Seattle's the 1, Chicago's the 2. You have Philly as the 3. They clinched the division already. You have Carolina at 4, the Rams at 5, and the Niners at 6. Once again, Green Bay at 7. Basically a game and a half ahead because they have a tie in there. So they're 2 ahead of Detroit in the loss column. But those are the teams that have clinched so far. So there you go. Wanted to mention that. I know that the ending results were chaotic, and some people might have forgotten how many teams clinched. That's the updated playoff scenario for both conferences. So I wanted to mention that. You have anything you want to add to that?
I mean, the simplest way to say it is the NFC is pretty determined. It's just a matter of who wins the South and who wins the NFC North. And the AFC.
Well, for the record, the Bears are basically 2 games clear in the North, so we're assuming.
NFC West. NFC West is the only one. But yeah, it's really a shuffling in the bottom there, and the AFC. It is kind of a little bit chaotic. Colts are, like you said, by all means out of it.
I think it's safe to say for the AFC, because only 2 teams have clinched, we know which teams are getting in. We just don't know what the order is going to be.
Yeah, I mean, there's like 6 teams that have double-digit wins.
Yeah, well, it's basically that way in both conferences. Right now, the 7 seed in the AFC is the Texans with 10. And a reminder, we still have 2 games left. And right now, the 7 in the NFC is Green Bay with 9. So we'll see if Green Bay gets to 10 or
not. But they have a tie, which is really important.
Correct.
So they don't have they do not have an extra L.
Correct. They're 2 losses ahead of the Lions. Yes, so there you go.
You can always make up wins. You can't make up losses.
Correct. So I wanted to mention that for the actual, once again, updated scenarios. But either way, time to go on into the Week 16 game. Niners did clinch a playoff spot already, so congrats to them. Colts are not officially dead, but I think we all know where this is going. No offense, but I think we all know. But either way, a point is for the actual matchup, though. Adam, I'm going to let you go first. We know Phillip Rivers has played 1 game, and he looked okay for having the 5-year layoff, basically. But it's still just a ridiculous situation. So I'll let you go first. Any thoughts there on Rivers?
Yeah, I mean, he had a really good O-line doing stuff, and it was a look ahead spot. He got a great defensive effort. They did everything they could for him. But my first play is tied to. Can I go into my first play?
That's why I was segueing.
Oh, okay, yeah. Nice segue.
Thank you. You kind of wrecked it, but I tried my best. It's fine.
Under 27. Punchline, under 27 and a half longest completion. His longest last week was 19. And you could see when he threw, I don't know if it's going pretty far.
It's also attempts. I'm not sure how many air yards he had on attempts to actually go over 27 and a half. Did he attempt a single pass over 27 and a half yards? Maybe like 1 shot to Pierce, maybe, but I don't know if he had really any attempts.
Well, let me. I'll look. I'll tell you right now.
I'm trying to remember. There was 1 deep shot, quote unquote, to Pierce. I think everything else besides that was within 10 yards of the line.
25 air yards.
25, okay.
Which is still underneath what it would need.
That was the Pierce play I'm thinking of. Everything else was a check down, basically.
Right. He had 25 air yards. I'm going with his longest pass under. Sorry, 17 is the longest that he had. Look, Cam Ward obviously went over this against the Colts. Shador went over this against the Colts. But guys who I would more
against the Colts or against the Niners?
Against the Niners.
Okay.
But when we're getting to just some of the, overall just comps that I want to do within here, just to kind of go through. I mean, Bryce Young didn't hit this. Jacoby Brissett didn't hit his. Like they kept Matthew Stafford still under. My bet on this is a little bit more of the Phil Rivers being my age and throwing a football, and just it's not a game script to win if Phil Rivers is trying to throw bombs.
Pretty much. I mean, they're going to use the same game plan against Seattle. They're going to run the ball.
They're going to run the ball like that. And I would do that. I would absolutely do that against them.
Of course, and try to win an ugly, low-scoring game. I mean, that's the approach that they're going to use, so we'll see what happens. It's probably not going to work, but who knows?
Anyway.
What's the alternative? Anthony Richardson? Like, you don't have any other plans?
Well, so I guess my question, who's the 2 tonight? Is it Riley Leonard?
I want to say it's Leonard. I haven't heard that he's out officially for the game tonight. But
because they activated the window on Anthony Richardson.
Yeah, he's he was the backup, I believe, last week. So yeah, I think he's the backup again. I don't know why.
What has to happen for him to come in? That's the other thing. Do you think do you think that that's?
I think the whole thing's a circus. So, I mean, in reality, if let's say the Colts get blown out, let's say it gets fully,
which would be great. Kramer and I would cash a pleaser that we have.
I was going to say, let's say it goes rock bottom, and the Niners are up legitimately like 4 touchdowns in the third quarter. Like the game's ugly. I would pull Rivers. I mean, it's elder abuse. What are you supposed to do? Like, there's a chance he gets pulled early in this game.
I mean, Riley Leonard's not hurt anymore, right? He practiced in full all week.
That's what I'm saying. Truth is, once Leonard was healthy, I think he should be the quarterback over Rivers, but
I don't understand this at all.
I don't either. I think it's a complete waste of time. But by the way, Benedict's saying that Richardson's out.
Yeah,
I was joking.
I assume, yeah,
I'm still not sure his eyes work. I was kind of just making a joke. But the Leonard situation, look, he was not very good against Jacksonville, who was, I mean, obviously not a good spot. Jacksonville's good at football. It was his first game. I mean, I would give Leonard an audition at this point. Phillip Rivers' corpse is not going to save you a playoff spot. Like, no offense to Phillip Rivers, who might make the Hall of Fame anyway.
Mm-hmm.
I would start Leonard, but if you want to promote the circus, then be my guest. That's kind of where I'm at. I'm assuming you feel the same way?
Yeah, he almost was able to be Hall of Fame eligible because he had already done 4 years. Do you think he needs money?
I heard some reports that it wasn't the money. He wanted the NFL insurance.
Because he wanted the what?
The NFL insurance, because he has like 45 kids.
Well,
apparently the NFL insurance policy is you get 5 years post-retirement, and that's it. So by coming back, he gets 5 years more of insurance.
That's a scam.
I've heard that rumor, so I heard that's the thing.
All right. Yeah, I can't imagine him really.
By comparison, Venus Williams made a joke post-tennis match where she said, "I need the insurance." So maybe it's a similar thing.
Maybe. All right.
Just by comparison, but
I
don't know if it's a money scam. I think that it's more of a
money scam. Doesn't
healthcare isn't cheap when you have 45 kids
not for
a bunch of bolo ties.
Not for someone who's Roman Catholic. Roman Catholic people aren't bad with money, right?
There you go. I don't really know, to be honest.
So anyway, check with Rick Santorum. Anyway, let's. You're
going 27.5 longest.
Yeah,
on your under. For the record, probably the lowest number I've seen.
Probably the lowest number I've ever seen.
I don't remember what Tebow's numbers used to be.
If this loses, it's I get it and that's fine, but like you and I got to take it out of principle, right?
Of course, he threw maybe one pass 20 yards in the air.
His total air yards was 25.
Yeah, it's all checkdowns, so I can't really turn that down. But I am going to segue to a guy who should be pretty good in short yard spots. So we'll see how it goes in terms of the receiving yards, because I am going to go with an over on a Colts player, but it is a low number. It was a guy that got targeted a lot by Rivers last week, but I'm going to go with Tyler Warren. I'm going to go with this over 33.5 receiving yards at -112. He's been very good at home so far this season. He's had at least 44 receiving yards in 6 of his first 7 home games of the season. Yes, I know that was mainly with Daniel Jones, different circumstances, but point is he's been objectively solid at home this season. The Niners, though, last week were not good against tight ends. 2 separate Titans tight ends had 33-plus receiving yards last week. So we know the Titans aren't exactly an offense that lights it up through the air, and the tight end position gave the Niners problems last week. But Warren, in the last game against Seattle, a reminder, Phillip Rivers' first game in about 5 years, he had 3 catches on 6 targets. He got targets within the game script, should be good. But the Niners, not great against tight ends. Warren, I think we know, is a solid, I'd say, security blanket. That's the words you want to use, safety blanket. 33.5, I'll gamble on it. I think it's a pretty low number for a guy that might end up being Rivers' favorite target, second favorite target in this game. Good enough for me. Give me Warren over 33.5 yards at -112. Thoughts?
He was like you and I talked about his last night, but a lot of your things were like last cuts on mine. I like it. This is an impossibly low number too. And the Niners don't really have good linebackers, so I think that this is a great play.
Yeah, and Benedict's mentioning kind of my logic there, which is it's a low number for a quarterback that wants to check it down the entire time. So you could argue if you wanted to pivot, maybe receptions on Warren instead. But he got targeted 6 times last game. So Rivers was clearly trying to find him. And the Niners are not good against tight ends. So that's kind of my combo there for the logic. But yeah, give me once again Warren over 33.5 at -112. Moving on to your second play. What do you like?
My second play is going to be, I'm going to go with the Bourne identity. Kendrick Bourne. Yeah.
Is it an identity or an ultimatum?
Let's go with
or supremacy. You know, we're going to go supremacy on this one.
Yeah.
We'll go with that one.
We're going to go Kendrick Bourne over 22.5 receiving yards, -108. His snaps increased to 45% when Ricky Pearsall went out last week. Obviously, they don't play the same part of the field, but he seemed to benefit from this. He obviously did a lot of his damage this year when Mac Jones was playing, but he got out there, so I'm willing to take a shot on a low number. The Colts D-backs are all kind of a disaster area now that like everyone's hurt. The projecting it to be covered by Jonathan Edwards, who has a 49.5 PFF rating.
Is that good?
That's really bad.
Yeah, really bad.
Yeah, he's really, really bad. And like gives up like 15 air yards per game. Like a yard, he's just terrible. So I'm going to take a shot on Kendrick Bourne to be a guy that they look for and that they look at, especially if you figure that Steichen will really try to get the most out of his defense in a game where he knows he doesn't have a quarterback as an offensive weapon. Maybe they'll lock down Kittle, who we know is the first thing, or they'll just be really focused on limiting Kittle damage, and a little bit of a nod to what you're going to talk about soon. But someone's got to catch the ball, and you and I aren't really interested in any of these Niners receivers. So
I have fantasy football interest in one of these wide receivers. That's a separate point.
Right. Well, so let's go with Kendrick Bourne over 22.5 receiving yards.
Yeah, I can get behind it's a low number. We know Bourne's also a pretty big play guy. He could get this in one catch, in theory.
Exactly.
That's possible, too. Anyway, before we get into the other props that we have for the game, a reminder they're brought to you by Kalshi. So if you want to check out real money prediction markets that are legal in all 50 states, check out Kalshi. Trade a bunch of different markets in sports, including the NFL, college football, college basketball, NBA, NHL, and more. Plus, you can also trade props like first touchdowns. Besides sports, they have other markets like politics, entertainment, and even weather. And a reminder, if you want to actually try out Kalshi, you're new to the platform, get $20 for free when you use the code SGPN at sign up. That's Kalshi, K-A-L-S-H-I, promo code SGPN for a free $20 at sign up. We're also brought to you by Dunk Fantasy. You can check out the pick'em entries, chance to win $5,000 once again, or chance to win 5,000 times your money, actually. But they have you covered this holiday season with Underdog Unwrapped, so you get a bunch of promos throughout the holidays. And a reminder, if you want to check out the new offer they have for new customers, try it out. Play just $5 at $75 a bonus funds when you sign up at Underdog Fantasy with the promo code SGPN. Welcome back, everyone, to the Propcast. Finish going through the first call props that we have for the Monday night game. Time to move on into my second prop for the show. So my second play is going to be on George Kittle. But since we do think a blowout script could be in the cards, I'm only going to take George Kittle in the first half. He's been a very good receiver, obviously, for his entire career at the tight end position. But he's been great recently in the first half of games. We know Purdy loves to throw him the ball, easily his favorite target. But Kittle, I'm going to go with the over 32.5 first half receiving yards at minus 117. I believe this was on DraftKings, but either way, a point is 32.5 yards in the first half. I think it's a great overall number. Kittle has flown over for the last month. He's had at least 45 first half receiving yards in 5 straight games. The Colts are also really bad against tight ends. They're allowing the 5th most receiving yards per game against tight ends. Purdy throws on the ball all the time. We do think there's a chance the Niners go up early. They might run the ball, try to get out of there with a win. And at that point, the passing game might die. But you got to get there at some point with a pretty sizable lead. I think that will rely heavily on Kittle early in this game. Instead of going for the full game receiving yards in the 60s, I'd rather just take the fast start by Kittle, which he's done consistently for 5 straight games. So give me George Kittle, first half receiving yards, over 32.5, minus 117. Thoughts? Is that too cute, or you agree with the angle?
No, I agree with it. I don't think the thing is that since they clinched, there's not a lot of reasons why they gotta fight in this one.
You're going to segue in a second to another play on that, but we know Kittle's an injury history. They really can start pulling people if this game does get out of reach in the fourth quarter, which can just sabotage all of the passing numbers for Purdy, etc., all the receiving yard numbers. Give me a good start to the game, and at that point, they start pulling people. That's kind of where I'm at.
Yep.
So there you go. That's my second play. What's going to be your third play for the show?
CMC, under 59.5 rush yards. I think maybe he moved up to 60, just under his rush yards. He's under in, he's had the Colts have an elite rush defense. They've actually given up only 3.2 yards per carry since week 9. They've been top 5 all season. He's been under in both of his games against top quarter rush defenses. So again, we just sort of alluded to it, but this isn't the game you need. First of all, he's been doing way more damage receiving wise. You also just don't need to ride him on this because you've clinched and your biggest games are coming up because it's the division that's going to impact all this stuff. Like you just have to beat the Seahawks and you can win the division that way. So I don't really see them doing like a 20 carry type of thing from CMC when you need him for the playoffs. So we'll talk a little more about it in the latter section, but it might be some fun for us to do some B-Rob things.
Yeah, I see Joe saying that the Niners are still alive for the division. That's true.
Yeah.
But you don't get bonus points.
You don't get bonus. Yeah, you don't like this game doesn't impact anything for their division.
If you're up 17 in the fourth quarter and you think about all the injuries they've already had this season, yes, they can still win the division. No offense to Phillip Rivers. I know weird things have happened in the NFL. You're not really worried about blowing a 17-point lead in the fourth quarter to a 90-year-old quarterback. So once again, the Niners, if they go up early, they are just going to coast as far as I'm concerned. And for that reason, Benedict, that's why I would stay away from the rush attempts from Purdy, because there is a chance he might not do the kneel downs at the end of the game. If they end up going up a lot, we'll see. Yeah. But if
I also just don't like when the cap is reliant completely on that.
That's my point, though, but you might get a negative game script attached to the rush attempts because you do want the insurance policy for the kneel downs at the end, and there's a chance he ends up not doing the kneel downs at the end. So, yeah, I'm going to stay away from that, but I do think at the end of the day, it's a spot where the Niners could kind of name the score in theory if we think that they're as good as potentially they're going to be, and the Colts we know are a dead team walking at this point. So, yeah, I think we're all picking the same script here, which is going to coincide with CMC because they're going to be really careful with him staying healthy, etc. And you might see more B-Rob stuff towards the end of the game. So there you go. Anyway, that's why you're going full game. That's why I'm going first half on Kittle because I want overs and you want unders. So there you go. Moving on to my final play. You know, we had to do a kicking prop. I actually messaged you because I knew we were both going to consider taking it. And I called dibs. So I'm going to go with Pinheiro, Fast Eddie. I'm going to go with the over 1.5 field goals minus 115. Pinheiro's been a machine. He's made at least 2 field goals in 9 of his first 11 games of the season. So once again, this prop in general is 9-2 towards the over. The Colts, though, have been allowing a bunch of field goals. They have allowed 2+ made field goals in 5 of their last 6. We saw against the Seahawks. Yes, the game was close. They gave up yards. The point is, though, they had a bend but don't break defense. Maybe that happens again with the Niners here. Games in a dome, weather's not a factor. Pinheiro's been a machine, and minus 115 is objectively a bargain price for a guy that's a 9-2 towards the over the season. Good enough for me. Give me Fast Eddie Pinheiro, over 1.5 made field goals, minus 115.
Also, you didn't mention, but the Niners have most field goals per drive.
Yeah, I didn't mention that. Once again, Pinheiro's been flying over, but the Niners, which
it's also indoors. We didn't even talk. You didn't talk about that.
I said it was a dome.
Oh, you did say? Yeah.
So I said weather's not a factor, but yeah, the Niners we know with Shanahan are every single year. They had Jake Moody at a point. Even shout out to David Akers back in the day. But they've attempted field goals.
Former Eagle.
Yeah, I think he has. I think he had at one point the most field goals made in a single season by anybody ever. But anyway, point is the Niners have kicked field goals a lot under Shanahan, so I'll stick with that game plan for this one. Yeah, once again, give me Fast Eddie over. So there you go.
I'm just seeing the comments in the chat. Joe just telling everybody what he's on, and Benedict giving the ideas on the Purdy rush. Yeah, I don't love the Purdy rush attempts either. As a, it's just not. This is not a game to get cute. And so
no, you argue the Niners go up early in the coast.
Go up early and do whatever. They're perfectly fine putting back to like the problem this team had all season was that everybody was hurt, and now you already have clinched. And the most important game, your divisional games, I would not mess around. And Kyle Shanahan is pretty smart, so we'll see.
And for the record, they still have a shot at the division, but
they have a great shot. They have a fantastic shot at the division, given everything.
I'm not gonna say totally fantastic because they're still a game behind Seattle.
Right, but they beat Seattle the first time.
No,
they own every tiebreaker.
No, correct. But the point is, I was going to say, even though they might technically be third in the division, even if they win this game, the fact is they have more important divisional games on the horizon.
Yeah.
So this game isn't one of the most important games.
Right. Like they have the Bears. They have the Bears game next week too. Another primetime game. But the thing is like that it's very important that they won that first game against the.
Yeah, but you're mentioning the Bears, who once again are a playoff team already. So I don't know why you'd empty the tank against the Colts team that's been dead for a month.
Totally agree.
So there you go.
Because next week's game, depending on how things shake out, could end up being for the 1 seed.
Yeah, so in terms of strength of schedule, I think we'd agree that the Bears game's more important than the Colts game. So there you go. But anyway, anything else you want to add? We did cover all of our regular props. Any miscellaneous stuff you want to throw in there?
Definitely not. I don't have I think like I said, I do like the B-Rob angles that you and I've talked about.
Do you prefer yards or like swinging for a touchdown?
Well, let's see what the touchdown is, and I'll tell you. Oh yeah, we're taking the touchdown. It's plus 340.
Yeah,
we're taking that. That's all. Like
that's more. Once again, that's more of like a.
I want that. No. I want that more than I want. Do you want to sweat through yards?
No, I'd rather sweat McCaffrey being out of the game, either early or he got them to the red zone in the game a couple of snaps off.
It's so you know what? Maybe we do. His rush yards is 25.
Okay.
So we could take that, and then we could also play the touchdown. And
that works.
They're kind of because like it's, he's not. He's generally speaking. I mean, I think that
we're not picking a ton of work, but more than anticipated. So that's
and it's plus 104 for 25. Running backs have been kind of killing us. He had 21 last week. 26 against Cleveland. I just think he gets a little more. Like I would assume that he might be. This is a good number. So let's do that, and let's do the touchdown.
Yeah, I'm fine with that too.
Okay.
I see Philly asking about the under in the game or not. I'll put it this way. I'm not taking it over with Phil Rivers.
Yeah.
That's just not going to happen for the sake of game script, for the sake of play calling. What I saw last week, they are terrified to let Rivers throw the ball downfield. Now, in theory, the Niners can maybe score 30-plus points, and that might be an issue, but I will not be taking any overs in games with Phillip Rivers in 2025. About to be 2026. That's not going to happen. So it's either under or pass. That's where I'm at. You?
Under or pass.
That's how I feel. So there you go. Anyway, anything else you want to add, or should we just move on into the best bets?
Nope, I think we're pretty good.
Cool. So before we get into the actual best bets, a reminder, they're brought to you by our sponsor, Novig. So if you want to check out prediction markets, check out Novig, rated #1 in America. And a reminder that you can also check out some great prices, reduced juice on a bunch of different markets. So check out Novig. A reminder, download the app, get a nice sign-up deal with us. Use the promo code SGPN when you sign up. Spend $5, get $50 in bonus funds. And the actual Novig promo code SGPN. We're also brought to you by Rhythm. They've been great this season in the NFL, especially on player props. And a reminder, you can also check them out for college basketball. They've been really good. They have predictions on every game. And a reminder, you can also check out the model building process. You can build your own model on Rhythm, copy one from the leaderboard, or let Rhythm's house model do all the work for you. But if you ever wanted to try experimenting with models and sports betting, Rhythm is a great intro to models there. So check it out. But a reminder, you can also check out a nice discount at Rhythm with our promo code. Use the code SGPN25 when you download the app. It'll get a nice 25% off your first month. That's Rhythm, RITHMM. Adam, quickly looking at the actual player props they have for the game tonight. I'll quickly just pull it up. It's fine. I already have Rhythm up. They like the McCaffrey under 17.5 rush attempts at plus 108, which goes right in hand with the under yards you liked. Same idea. They'll go up early. They'll rest McCaffrey for more important games, but they like McCaffrey under 17.5 rush attempts at plus money. So there you go. I'm assuming you co-sign that?
Yep, absolutely.
So there you go. Anyway, a reminder, check out Rhythm. Use the code SGPN25 for a quarter off your first month. Welcome back, everyone, to the Propcast. Finish going through our props for the Monday night game. Time to move on into the lock and dog picks. Adam, what is going to be your best bet for the show?
Ducks from Rivers.
Quack, quack.
Quack, quack. That would be under his longest.
Yes. With a little shot put throw that he's got going for him.
Yeah.
So there you go. For my best bet, it's either going to be Fast Eddie or it's going to be Kittle. And you know what? I think I am going to I'll go with Fast Eddie at 1.5. I mean, minus 115 is a great price. It's 9-2 to the over the season. Look, if you're going to give me, for example, it's not the exact same thing as Fairbairn, who went over again yesterday because, of course, he did. But if you're just going to keep following the trends and keep backing kickers who kick constantly, and you want to give me minus 115, I'm going to take it. Like, even though, for example, the Jets got buried yesterday, who did we take? Nick Folk, because they kick a bunch of field goals and they cash in the first half.
That was also not like the same. Sorry, that wasn't like the same kind of bury. Like, they hung in there for like 3 quarters. They just like couldn't score.
Well, the Brady Cook's not an NFL player. I mean, that's
he did fine. He did fine until that
they moved the ball. Yeah, I mean, once again, the point that I'm trying to make though is that it does seem like the sports books have been a little bit out of touch on kicking props, which is why I keep going back to it almost every episode. And Fast Eddie's been objectively solid. He's been consistent, and I think it's a great price. Give me Fast Eddie over 1.5 field goals at minus 115 as my best bet. Moving on to Underdog, is there anything that you want to recycle? I don't mind the Rhythm CMC rush attempts play. You fine with that?
I'm fine with that.
Okay, so that'll be our first option. I'll go with CMC lower on his rush attempts, which should be at 17.5.
Yeah, so let me just put some of these things in. Well, here, do you want to do – let's do I always want to type CMC in here.
I believe Underdog has the first half receiving yards if we did want to try the Kittle one and throw it in there.
Let's make sure we have a Colts angle too.
Yeah, that's fine.
I assume we want it to be a fade of Rivers.
Yeah, either that or if you wanted to do the Warren one, that works too, but we can pick. I really want.
They have nothing up for him.
That's a shame.
They have like.
Well, who's him? CMC?
No, Phillip Rivers.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Right.
Is there anybody? Oh, Jonathan Taylor. Maybe. Do
you want to go with his lower on attempts?
I do higher on his rush yards.
Okay. What's that at?
98.5.
I mean, if we're thinking he gets, how many carries do you think he's getting?
Probably 20.
Okay. So he needs about 5 a carry?
Yeah.
Okay.
22 maybe.
That works.
Yeah. And then what do you want to do the Kittle?
Yeah.
Or do we take Fast Eddie?
We'll go Kittle on this one.
Do you want to do his fantasy score?
What's that number at?
Like if I told you, would you have an idea of what it would mean?
No, not at all. Okay. I'm just asking for the sake
of it. It's 12.5.
Sure, that's great.
Okay.
Perfect. Great.
All right. Christian McCaffrey, lower 17.5 rush attempts. That is a rhythm play. George Kittle, higher 12.5 fantasy points. We have no idea how that's calculated. Jonathan Taylor, higher 98.5 rush yards. We have some bonus funds in here, but I'm going to use a profit boost instead.
Cool. That's fine.
All right. It's 5.91. I boosted it to 8.36. $50 will win us allegedly $418.
Cool. Anyway, before we officially end the show, though, Adam, can you just recap your 3 plays one more time?
Yeah, let me just send this receipt to you.
Yeah, all good.
Okay. Christian McCaffrey. Christian McCaffrey under 60 rush yards, Bourne over 22.5 receiving yards, and Phillip Rivers under 27.5 longest pass completion.
And for my 3 plays, give me Tyler Warren over 33.5 receiving yards minus 112. George Kittle over 32.5 first half receiving yards at minus 117. And Eddie Pinheiro over 1.5 field goals at minus 115. Anyway, that's going to wrap it up for the show. We're back once again, probably tomorrow, right?
Yeah, I was going to say we could talk about it on there, but I think we're only doing 2 shows this week, and we should just do the second one tomorrow, and we should just do it on the Christmas games.
Well, I'm assuming it might be 3 because we'd still have the upcoming week 17 games for Sunday, right?
Yeah, but you're not. I mean, we won't be able to do that one. Like, when do you think
we would still be doing the show? I'll have to do it in Florida. We're going to punt the NBA NHL show this week.
We got to see because, like, you don't have kids yet, so I can't do it on Christmas.
Yeah, it wouldn't be on
Christmas.
Christmas.
Do it the 26th.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I mean, we usually record on Friday anyway.
We'll figure it out, guys. We will figure it out.
We'll see, but a reminder.
Sure, we'll do another show tomorrow.
A reminder, once again, it is a holiday week, so we do have multiple games on Thursday. So, assuming enough lines are out, we will be having an episode probably tomorrow for the Christmas games. So keep an eye out for that. There will be no NBA NHL show this week. That's going to be the pivot that we end up doing. Either way, though, till next time, find me on Twitter, Reichel Radio. Find him on Twitter at Hey Rosenberg. Check out the Propcast on Twitter at the Propcast SGPN. Check out the Propcast on YouTube, SGPN Propcast, or Spotify or Apple. Till next time, once again, good luck to all of you and all of